Tango build.
Yeah, perhaps it is the way to go. I think it's a Radiance Bloodseeker game is kind of what it feels like to me.
Oh, that sounds a whole lot better.
Like, you can, I mean, still get a Maelstrom probably. I don't know if, it seems like whenever Clinxes are up against Peels, they always grab Maelstroms at least. So maybe do like a Maelstrom Clinx and then go back to regular items, or maybe even Mjolnir. Is it a terrible Mjolnir game? I mean, there's going to be illusions from, they need a lot of AoE against SDPL. Like,
yeah,
they will definitely need a lot of wave clear. So that PL pick was definitely very nice, I think.
Yeah. Let's go Paparazzi. Give me some fantasy points.
That was a dangerous pick. I told you, man. I told you it wasn't.
You said
a
it
great
was.
pick.
I had him out, and then I was like, no. Vici Gaming, they're gonna go great today. You gotta.
He was literally the worst scoring core player for fantasy yesterday.
They went 0-4. They're not going 0-4 today. They're going. You know.
Are they playing 3 games today?
They're playing 3 games. Yeah.
I think they had a lot of difficult teams, if I'm not mistaken, to play against, but I can't remember.
I imagine a lot of matchups probably look difficult when you have a 0-4 day one.
Yes.
Is there? What's the easy matchup?
It definitely hurts my confidence a little bit on them, but
yeah.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. We'll see. We'll see if they do okay.
I've put in a few Newbee players too, so hopefully Newbee. I mean, I don't care who wins then, as long as Paparazzi does well and I think SCCC.
I got faith in SCCC. Give me them points, and the rest I think I went 3 pain actually today.
I have a Fenrir. He's going to plant some wards.
Okay.
Happy man, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
I like Fenrir, his in-game name, position 4 or 5. Like, you know, he's adopting. He's like, all right, NA pubs, these guys, I need to communicate with them. Let them know I'm playing support.
No messing around there.
Yeah. No, but this should be an interesting way to open things up. An old China affair. Newbee, your TI runner-ups. Vici Gaming, well, they've been runner-up themselves a lot of times during this DPC. I believe 4 times in total. I've had a pretty up-and-down season, but mostly an up season as they were one of the few teams to get into the TI through points.
Which doesn't always make me feel confident. Like, there's a couple teams like that have kind of been... like VGJ Thunder, VGJ, it's like, okay, they qualified, but they haven't played tournaments much for the last 2 months. Is that really going to make them strong enough when the tournament rolls around? And either way, still the bad teams or whatever, none of them
disruption down bottom in an arrow.
Okay. None of them seem really bad, basically. Like, everybody's still playing really well. These illusions actually look like real heroes with this cosmetic. There's got to be like a bug, right?
I mean, that's KP. That's his cosmetics, right?
Yeah, exactly. They haven't. It's like they haven't updated that set to be dark enough from disruption illusions.
Well, not quite the start KP was hoping for with his lane.
And Lanham got first blood.
Who's the Lanham fantasy players? We happy about that one?
He got the snake, man. Snaked him. 4 points, yeah. Fantasy or first bloods is. It's not a lot average per game, but if you get little outliers, it can be really beneficial. Snaked again. This is actually so much damage. Is Bane good at trading? I can't tell. Just getting wrecked right now.
Who's getting the rune? And it will be Newbee. They bring back the Willow, and looks like they should be able to get the one further down south as well. Paparazzi did go for the Spirit Lance level 1 for that first blood. And it'll be 3 runes to 1 in Newbee's favor, despite giving up that first blood.
So Shadow Demon will hang on the top lane with Imrana. No surprise there, up against a Bane and a Bloodseeker. So this is actually kind of scary. Normally you want something like a Jug in this lane. That way it just completely shuts down what Shadow Demon can do. But the fact that they have this dual lane, it's going to make this a lot harder for them.
So a bit of a sentry battle in the mid lane. SCCC knew there was a ward or sentry there, put a sentry down to tango it, and then Ori actually ate his sentry before he could do anything. Meanwhile, the Radiant Sentry actually missed the Observer ward, though.
Yeah, that's part of the benefit of putting it so far to the left, is that even like your cast range on using a tango is actually not that far, I don't think. Ward range is 450, so if he puts it all the way at the side over there here, it's easier for him to get that.
He's been arrowed, it looks like. Gets a brain sap off. Is pretty low, but won't go down.
But he's almost out of regen now. I mean, level 1 brain sap doesn't give you the health power that it used to, and 1 tango left, so he's having a tough time so far.
We'll see if he's able to ferry out some more, or what's going to go on Radiant Courier.
Everything. So that was one of those like mid lane ones. Looks like it just got one-shot by Syrian Arrows probably, because it died about here.
I didn't know you could one-shot a Courier with level 1 Syrian Arrows, but
I mean, it's 30 physical damage, right? And a Courier's got like 75 HP with 0 armor. It's
probably
easy.
Just enough. Yeah, you're right. No?
So you'd be doing 80 physical, on average.
Okay.
So big mistake by Ori there. Definitely not good for the supports in this, but he's probably like, oh, at least I got my items, no problem, guys.
Yep. We'll see versus Ori. He's going to go for the strafe for the mid lane. Ori forced to Ghost Shroud and run away. SCCC thought he maybe had a kill with that strafe.
That's the hard counter, man.
Do you dodge Death Pulse with strafe?
I would guess no, because it's not disjointable. Because we were having a talk about that this morning, that Arcane Bolt from Skywrath can't be dodged, maybe because it's not disjointable. But there's some other ones that can be dodged with it, but I assume Death Pulse is one of those like undodgeable spell things.
It's like a projectile, but it's also... Oh, Ori himself going for a courier gets the uphill miss on it. I don't think he would not have one-shot it with his 62 damage, however. But yeah, it's one of those weird spells you can have to know every single interaction with different spells.
Yeah, Strafe is the weirdest one so far, because it's not a evasion thing. It's like you can't hit more accurately with MKB. It's just literally disjoint anything that's disjointable. That's kind of how the skill works, from my understanding. Yep. It's kind of cool, shooting arrow at the large camp so that Fenrir can get the solo experience on it. Interesting.
Nicely done.
Does pick up level 2 now. It's got a pretty fat mana pool, but doesn't really want to spam Shadow Poison most likely until he gets 2 points. Then it's going to be a lot more efficient to do so. But last hit-wise, wow, excuse me, is doing really well. 17-5 up against the 6-0 Clinks. He's just dominating.
Yeah, it looked like S-Triple-C was prioritizing a lot of the harass, but you've got plenty of damage with Searing Arrows. You've got to imagine he should be able to get more than just 7 CS here, but getting bullied a lot. Yeah.
Should have ran Ori, dude. You probably did, right?
I did not run Ori. No.
Terrible mistake.
Yeah. No, we're just 3 minutes into game 1 of 6 for these guys, you know?
That's true. Lots of points to gain.
Yeah.
Ori could still throw. You never know.
That's the hope. Not for, I mean, we're not being biased or anything here, but, you know, fantasy is important stuff.
It really is. It gets me moving on TI days, that's for sure.
So,
the best coordination I've ever seen in the off lane here. Mugi's going to stay alive, very close.
Yeah, they did put the Fenrir Shadow Demon in the off lane despite being the 5-player because they want this Shadow Demon around a combo. Working out all right for now. Ori does end up finding the Observer Ward in mid lane, so he gets a second sentry to his lane and de-ward it, which always is worth it. I mean, as a mid or something, I'll even buy my own sentries for that because it's just like, you're getting more than 100 gold, you're getting XP, buy a sentry.
That's a really good point.
Sure, it's nice if your supports can do it for you and you just get the full gold, but, you know, if you're bringing the curry mid, just bring one yourself.
It's good for fantasy, too. Again, that's all that matters. Every ward place, man.
That's true.
Well, observer words, that is, but...
Oh, yeah, not the sentry.
But I get a point, like half a point here and there for my core picks. Thank you. Thanks for buying your own wards, guys. We appreciate it. Or at least place, you know. As a support, it warms my heart, you know. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Oh, yeah. Interesting that Paparazzi and PL got 2 points in Lance. We're seeing much more of the like max Phantom Rush builds.
I mean, it does double the movement slow and increases the illusion duration by double, so it does makes the nuke so much better, really. And I guess with the Shadow Shaman dual lane, you've got so much disable anyways. It's like, do you really need that much Phantom Rush? So
KP just rushed this Javelin and is just spamming his Swashbuckle. Every time he uses it, Paparazzi is taking 1/3 of his health. Maybe a bit less, but it feels like he just cannot stay in this lane without some serious HP regen.
That's really cool. And he skipped boots and everything. He actually just got this as fast as possible.
Has a bottle queued up now for some health mana regen. Still has a Mango left. Like, he's just pummeling this PL whenever possible. PL does still have good CS, but he's had to chew through a lot of regen to get it, and now use the Shrine the second it comes up. This is the way to play Pango, I guess. Or at least a way to play Pango.
I mean, Swashbuckle normally, it just doesn't do that much damage. Right? It's like 42 for 4 hits. It's good, but throwing a Javelin on top of it like increases the damage by so much. See if they get the kill here. He's going to be able to jump away, reduce some damage in case they chase, but very likely to go down,
Got a bit greedy there, and Lanham was ready for him. He's like, okay, this guy's been constantly spamming this. This time if he goes in, we're going to shackle him. We're going to go for the kill because both of us have health and mana, and they're going to get 2 kills, both for Paparazzi. Bring in those fantasy points.
Damn, dude. I picked the wrong characters.
Double kill.
I was about to get all excited about KP because he's owning or whatever, and then Paparazzi's 3 kills on the board now.
Yeah, KP 0-2. He's actually doing just fine in terms of farm, but farm does not get you the points. That's true. All about those low deaths and high kills.
I do like the 2 points in Spirit Lance, so I mean it's only 50 damage per skill point for the second to third, or first to second, but still really worth it. I think mana cost is about the same.
Top lane,
maybe not done enough.
Brawl going on. It looks like Mugi got caught by a long duration arrow, disruption arrow. And 11 won't finish him off. It'll be Fenrir who gets the kill.
I just feel like we see a lot of Bloodseekers just get utterly bullied in the laning stage the last couple of days. Maybe it's just the streams that we've been watching, but we've seen a lot of Bloodseekers have a tough time in laning.
Which is kind of crazy because to hear that's often picked up to be like a stronger laner than the alternative hard carries. That's why Bloodseeker became medics. It's like, oh, you know, this hero doesn't get bullied. He's got this regen, but
it's probably that it's a lot of dual lanes. Like Bloodseeker historically was not good in dual lanes, but people kind of made it work. But it's like so many strong dual lanes just beat it easily. That's what it feels like.
The top lane. This comes a TP. SCCC has rotate to help out his boy Moogie, but there's a TP out from Fenrir. Even if he dies there, it just doesn't feel worth the TP from a Clinks. Because while this is going on, Ori is bullying the mid-tier 1 tower, getting some good damage in, top of the CS, top of the net worth chart.
He was just jungling anyways. What's the big deal, right? TP for a little gang.
It was his first like death pack rotation where he's like, okay, I've got this death pack, I'm gonna go use it.
But I mean, he just gave up the mid lane. It's 51 and 15 on Necrophos now, level 8.
Tower down below half health. A lot of damage being dealt.
And Treads pick up too, so he's just high damage. He'll probably go the damage talent at 10. He's gonna have Veil very soon. He's only about 900 gold away. And then people are gonna start dying.
Yeah. Ori has just destroyed mid lane.
Really
that is crazy how one-sided it is right now.
It's like one of those lanes where you actually need to go back and watch the replay. It's like, wait, why is he winning by so much, you know? If you don't check those like first couple waves, it's very difficult to understand sometimes.
Yeah, and it's
kind of flows over you and all of a sudden it's out of control.
It really is one of those matchups that isn't normally this one-sided, I would say. It very much came down to Clinks not prioritizing going for last hits, going for the harass, and well, you're versing a Necro who has Death Pulse and also just Death Pulse with the regen as well as the heal, and you're going to just sustain yourself. Unless you get killed or bullied out of lane, which he just didn't achieve.
Fenrir is going to get a lot of gold from this one, I think. Shadow Poison, very good ability.
Yep. Shares the XP, but gets most of the last hits. First Rupture coming out, 11.
He does have a TP, but
needs to leap TP from the trees. Can they actually get to him? Nightmare? Oh, no, Brain Sap instead. They're going to make sure they get the kill.
I think if he TP'd instantly, it would have been fine. Or if he instantly leapt TP'd, he would have been okay.
Yes.
But
he needs to get out of range of the Nightmare and not take too much damage to it.
One of those moments, he maybe didn't know exactly where the I think he did, though. I mean, their ward is over here catching vision, so just slight mistake there.
Probably just slight panic, because Mugi, I think, just hit level 6 and then instantly used the Rupture. Mid-tier 1 tower goes down. Ori, 9 minutes in, has taken a tower, land and rotate to make sure they get the last hit. You don't want to have your opponents TP in and get a deny there. The Necro is got his Veil coming out, I imagine. Yeah, Veil already up 9 minutes in, so...
Yeah, that's going to be very nice. Veil is actually, stat-wise, it doesn't give you massive benefits, but I definitely buy this item too often, but it is so good on int cores like this who can just stay alive against heroes like Clinks, just to get all that extra free armor in comparison to something like an Aquila even. The Veil can just do so much offensively and defensively.
Stat-wise, it's just like a nice, it feels good to get that extra armor and health regen.
I mean, you're going to buy the double nulls in a lot of cases anyway, so if you can make benefit from the magic resistance reduction, it's great. And honestly, the regen is probably the best part about it. Like, there's a lot of times where I'll buy it and I just will forget that I don't ever hit shrines or don't hit the fountain. Yeah. Just because I'm just pumping out regen all game. Helps a lot.
It's the same as a Ring of Health in terms of health regen.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's
top
the one
lane
thing that gets increased.
Disruption Arrow, Faith is being caught out and brought down.
Someday I'm going to catch one of those. But we all know, laning stage, I can't handle that part.
You're a late game observer.
I'm a late game observer. Except for when it's a base race and the Clinks is already teleported back to his own base. And yeah, that's about it. That's the only place it goes wrong.
Mid lane, Plan M, be in some trouble here. Clinks is ready to back this one up, and yeah, KP is going to commit to this one. Hex comes out. Are they even going to get this kill? They're going to have to use a Rupture. They use absolutely everything, and Lanham's going to live, probably. He's got one more right click. He barely gets the kill. I think he reaped half a second sooner. He actually probably saves Lanham there.
That just felt like a really unfortunate place for the Shadow Shaman to land. I'm like, there's still a tree here. I thought I was watching a replay for a second because the trees didn't go away, but he just didn't actually cut the trees down while Rolling Thundered, and then the Clinks couldn't attack the whole time. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. I mean, in the meantime, they still do lose a tower top, so not really the best kill. But at least they didn't get their Bloodseeker Reaper, I guess.
Yeah, and Mugi's not having a good game, that's for sure. Bottom lane Ori's going to get Curse crowned up, but should be just fine. I say that. There's a Dark Willow on top of him now. Definitely one of the heroes that, in general, matches up a little bit better against Necro than others, because if you get on top of him, he can't really... never wants to go Shroud.
Yeah, Cock clearly on a different page than the rest of his team there, wanting to go for that kill, but his teammates using their skills on the creep wave, as there are wards down here as well. They're being really careful. They do not want to get killed here. And there's pretty solid dive from Vici Gaming side, so.
They're bringing more here. They're going to keep 11 top and leave the rest of the heroes down bottom. But Newbee poised to defend this tier 1 tower. Vici Gaming 3k gold ahead, 0-4 so far in the group stage, looking to put their first win on the board and looking pretty damn good so far.
Yeah, this is a really good advantage for 12 minutes. For sure. Bane hasn't really done Bane stuff that much. I mean, he's only died once, I guess, but he hasn't had the lane presence I would normally expect out of his hero. Kaka now rotating top. That's the hero he's going to try to snag. He does have a dust as well, so he could chase Mirana, but the triple leap is likely to get her out if he does catch her.
Yeah.
Unless they get like a grip or something. Maybe a little hard there.
I mean, they put some vision very defensively, but Mirana's playing away from it.
Yeah.
Interesting item build, the Yule Scepter, queued up for Mirana. You mentioned it as an item against Bloodseeker for Necro, but for the same reason, it's good on Mirana. Can also act as a guaranteed arrow setup.
It's really good against Clinks too. It's like the one way that you can dispel strafe instantly without it being a projectile. So it can work there as well. I think it's a good pickup. On the bright side for Newbee, they've done a really good job elongating the time that it takes to kill this tier 1 tower bottom. They really slowed that down. In the meantime, all of their heroes are farming and getting some advantage here. The only downside was it was maybe weak farm for Bane, but it was offsetting a tier 2 tower pressure.
Yep. Is Ori, who gets his second tower kill of the game, and he's now got Hood and Veil. This is Necro's kind of first big early game peak, and he gets pretty damn hard to kill at this point.
Lanham's apparently the fantasy point leader. Good for him. Play some words, man.
There you go.
Or something. Oh no, he just got the first blood. It's broken. It's not broken, but yeah, it's 4 points. It kind of messes up the whole chart.
Yes.
First blood's the way to go. Yeah, Necro double hat strat. And they're going to go on for the yes. Don't think he's going to make it.
And that one will be the Reaper kill. Mugi deleted for 44 seconds.
That one's really hard. I mean, they get the tier 1 tower. It's very difficult to defend in that part of the map without going for a D ward. And even then, the observer ward that they placed was not quite in the most predictable point. They are smoking around to get initiation here, but I mean, right now, if they catch Shadow Demon, that's not what they want. They want the core, and they're actually aiming kind of for him. The smoke broke, and I think he realizes though, but he gets caught. Great route there by Kaka.
Yeah, Ori still has a ghost ride. He's not an easy kill by any means. With the Hood as well, he's tanky, but not tanky enough. Lanham shows up a little bit too late. Still is going to go for the Serpent Wards into an arrow. SCCC brought down in return. It's not as big of a kill as the Ori one, but they may hunt for a little more. But
yeah, took a little bit more than they wanted to get the kill, but KP hit a weird edge. It's hard to get all their damage out at the right time. Are they going to Kaka here?
Actually had 17 one charges.
Is the last poison?
And rear. Ooh, another ever so slight dodge. Even if he hits that, it looks like he would have been able to survive. Need 6, maybe even 7.
Yeah, he had Tranquils going anyway, so probably going to be fine, but definitely a little scary there.
Yeah. But yeah, Necro, 17 one charges. If he somehow got that off during Ghost Shroud.
Yeah, that's great. If you stunned that whole time?
I don't think he was. He was moving at the end. He must. I think it was just, so much going on. Sometimes you just don't push it once.
Huh. Well, that would have been... No, he got terrorized for sure as well.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That's why he was walking, but not disabled. So, Shadow Bounty Rune. Lanham, he's invis. He's baiting them in. Is he going to pick it up? He picks it up and...
he's like, oh shit, 3 arrows.
Another Rolling Thunder coming out. This one, they're going to focus down Lanham first. He's still in a bit of trouble here. Gets disrupted. That's going to help keep him alive for now, but they lost the Necro. That's the much bigger kill. And despite all of Ori's early game farm, he finds himself getting gone on several times in a row and still brought down.
There is a Diffusal Blade on the PL, so he's going to drain some mana here. Trying to finish off Fenrir, but yeah, that'll cost him way too much.
Fenrir did manage to kill off KP, though. He got the Poison Explode just before he died. 11 now stunned up as well. SCCC chasing, has a strafe as well. Through an arrow, I believe it missed Mugi, and 11 leaping away will not find the kill.
Gills is ready, jumps into the dark Bramble Maze though. And Newbee's gonna have a pretty good fight there. I mean, the Necro actually got relatively wrecked. Got Fiend's Gripped, they couldn't really slow that down. The Rolling Thunder did a lot of damage once again, really disrupting the team fight as a whole. It's definitely a good grab there for Newbee. And that's, I mean, you can definitely see how important it is to take like 3-man gank movement things around bounty runes, because you know your opponents are going to go for it. It definitely helps when your opponents are more responsible. If you know they're going to be there, then you can set up these kinds of little engagements, and both teams kind of trying to attempt that there. Maybe one of the best things about Pangolier, those early fights on like a 70-second ulti cooldown, he's always ready to go.
Yeah, it really is such a low cooldown to play around compared to some of these other big team fight ultis. And when you get a blink, it kind of feels like a Ravage because you can just roll in, hit 1 or 2, and then blink to another hero or 2, and you're hitting often 3-4 heroes with your Rolling Thunder.
And each time is 200 magic damage.
Yep.
That is crazy. That is so much. You can easily hit one guy like twice, maybe 3 times. So really fantastic ultimate. So 3,200 gold for Bloodseeker, still working towards his Radiance, but OPL's going to go a little bit more the ganky build. He hasn't committed to the Shadow Blade yet, but this is sometimes built like Diffusal Blade, Shadow Blade. They'll go like Silver Edge, maybe get a Bloodthorn or a Nullifier. It's kind of a fun playstyle. Don't see too often.
Doesn't Yules himself. I don't think he wants to set up a Bramble Maze. Just pinks the Cursed Crown.
They want to go on him, they're thinking about it.
Oh, he tries to leap out, but he doesn't quite make it far enough away. Instead, though, Klinx is going for Shadow Demon because he hit both with the Terrorize, and 11 is going to Yules into the Rolling Thunder. You betcha. He leaps into it, in fact. He leapt into a Terrorize. He leapt into a Rolling Thunder. Just not his day.
Man, I wish he would have like leapt onto the bowl and just been like running on it like a cat, you know, like that would have been really good.
Okay.
Instead, he gets reflected off. It's a strong spinning ball. But that was a really good gank. I think they saw Kaka messing around there, channeling Terrorize, but boy did it nailed him perfectly. He's had some really good Terrorize this game, I must say.
Standout player for Newbee. Always has been one of their big playmakers that they look towards in these key games.
Big fantasy player for those of you guys who are more so when roaming was the thing. But
one of the few 4s because it's all about the 5s with the supports because they plant wards, get lots of points there, but some 4s can rack up points.
Absolutely. So where's Pango going next? Blink Dagger's up, cool. So lots of mana regen items, nothing abnormal there, but even easier for him to team fight now. Still kind of curious how they're going to try to deal with the PL.
Well, you mentioned the Radiance on Bloodseeker, and that's just about completed.
Yes.
Mid lane, blink into Yules, into an arrow. That's not going to land. 11, you got to practice your combos, and he's going to TP on out. Oops.
Yep, I mean, that's the only setup stun they have, right? That's ground targeted, just the arrow.
Yeah.
Get a Rupture pretty early on Mirana, but they're actually coming in for the fight here.
On cooldown, hits him with the Rolling Thunder, so he gets caught by the Blood Right, hits the bounce off the wall. 6 stuns in 1 Rolling Thunder, 2 on each of the heroes. KP Dota.
That was such a fun team fight to watch because the Rupture just felt so out of place. Like it was like you 1v3, are you crazy? And then they all just back up a little bit, and all of a sudden it's like Fiend's Grip from the back, and the Rolling Thunder, they're all lined up in a row, and then he hits the wall and comes back. Man, that was a beautiful fight.
Yeah, hits the line, then does the return trip.
So much benefit from their heroes. So really seeing the value of Pangolier if your team is moving around correctly together. Oh, here's our replay. Fight once again.
Oh, that was just perfect.
There's the line. They come back through again. Mugi can do whatever he wants. Like, they were just completely limited from what they could do. It's like Rupture the Mirana, and she's actually kind of in a bad spot. I think that's why she picked up the Yules, because she knows she can't leap. She can, but she'll take a lot of damage. In the same vein, though, if she buys damage items, maybe she could just attack.
Yes.
But
I would have preferred just to see the, BKB after like a Maelstrom type build. Maelstrom BKB. You have the defensive item then as well as the right-click item, but
maybe he's just concerned that he wouldn't be able to deal with the Klinx that way or something.
That's true.
I mean, he had a good laning stage, but since then 11's kind of fell off 1, 3, and 5.
Yep.
And Yules is not going to really help that change. I mean, I guess he can arrow and nuke creep waves more because he's got good mana regen. That part's kind of nice, I suppose. That's one way to think about it.
This game was a 5K gold lead for Vici Gaming. We were praising them, and all of a sudden we're back to even, and Newbee have their items online to help deal with the PL with the Maelstrom on Klinx, the Radiance on Bloodseeker, and not quite the comfortable looking game that it once was.
Ooh, I actually really like what SCC is doing this game. He skipped the Soul Ring. I genuinely don't think that's the item on Klinx. I think it's overkill. Like, buying that item on a non-strength hero, on a if buying it on an int hero, it's got to be like on a strength hero in a lot of cases, I feel.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't give you any good scaling at all. It gives you some HP regen, but like with Medallion and Aquila and Clarities, he's got enough mana, and then he doesn't have to spend 800 on this dead item slot.
You can buy 16 Clarities for that price. I don't think you need 16 Clarities. You're probably good with like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
so
to cover at least the mid-game portion of the game. But yeah, I think this is the way to go. He's queuing up a BKB next. I think his item build so far is solid. Maybe he wants Diffusal Blade, maybe Mjolnir Rush afterwards to help deal with the PL, but not quite solidified on that one yet. I don't know, what would you do? What do you think is the best Klinx item? Maybe goes like Orchid or something? Not sure. We'll see after this fight, though.
Yeah.
No sentries down just yet. Newbee does not realize, and there's disruption. This should be an arrow.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They're leaving him to die. They're actually going to commit the Reaper, which is probably fine. Absolutely fine, considering Newbee backed off, but something you have to be careful about doing in some fights because you may need it later on.
Yeah.
You don't want to use it on a free kill just because you can. Like, Newbee are going to play things safe until they have BKBs, I imagine.
Yep, they ditched back to push out lanes and farm a little bit because they know they can't fight for 70 seconds. KP's pretty stacked, though. He's queuing up an Aeon Disc. He only needs a bit booster and the recipe, so he's not too far away. It would work really good in fights like that, actually. He would probably still die. Like, I could definitely see, like, a Hex after the Aeon Disc pops.
Yeah.
But at least it would force more abilities, and if he doesn't get disrupted into Arrow like that, it'll absolutely be useful in the fights. He also finishes his Maelstrom as well. So they've still got some PL solutions. PL changing build ideas, going for Manta now, so more standard. Just trying to overflow with the illusions.
Do you think he intentionally built the Maelstrom? Because he had the Javelin for a long time. He may have just been trying to buy a BKB component.
I would say it's worth building. I mean, the magic damage goes up by 60 per proc. I mean, obviously it bounces, so it's still good. But against a PL, it's just something you do. There's so many illusions that you're hitting, and you get 4 hits on each of them that you're going to proc Maelstroms. It just feels like something you might as well do. And plus, like with PL's recent nerf of the illusion damage taken on Juxtapose, it went from 500 to 600. AoE, like Maelstrom, is even better at this stage in the game. Late game, still not amazing, but for right now, it just feels like it's worth 1,600 gold to make it so much better to me.
Okay.
Plus, he can push with it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of benefits.
Yeah, his ability to he can clear wave kind of fine with his spells, but now he can just be a bit more efficient with the Maelstrom procs.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the way to go.
Yep.
I don't play that hero much, but...
Well, right now, as mentioned, Newbee really do need these BKBs to teamfight better, and they've got 2 coming up soon with both Clinks and Bloodseeker. About 500 gold away each. On the Radiant side, what are we looking at here? Mirana's going back for a Maelstrom.
Yep.
Yule's Maelstrom, bit of an odd build, starting out for the utility item, going back for the damage. Necro has BKB queued up. PL went for a Manta, not the Shadow Blade.
So BKB next on Necro is his follow-up, but he's got the Blink Dagger, so you can always get Reaper sides off if they find opportunities. But they are pretty burst heavy. Lan going for a Aether Lens at this point. Picked up an Urn. I like builds like this on Shadow Shaman. Just get a little tanky, lots of mana regen. It's definitely favorable. Interesting skill build on him though. He went like 2-2-1, then he got a 3rd Aethershock, then he got a 3rd Hex. Now he's maxing Hex. Kind of all over the place, but would you ever get the Hex cooldown talent at 15? I don't think anybody does. They always go cast range, but it puts it down to an 8-second cooldown on Hex. That's pretty crazy.
If you're more farmed and you feel like you're confident you're going to stay alive in a fight, it makes sense, I would say.
Something I've always wanted to try.
I mean, the Aether Lens, it's like, oh, you're going cast range. On the Aether Lens, you want more cast range. Well, it's like also at the same time you could say you have enough cast range. You don't need that extra 125.
Yeah, I mean, you could cast almost twice as many Hexes.
Yeah.
So feels like
I think it's a good talent. It's one of those things where most people get the cast range, but I don't think that Hex cooldown needs buffs.
All right, great Nightmare
save.
That was a lot of damage prevented right there.
Tango still in trouble though. Gets caught by the Reaper, trying to roll away, and Ori is there in the right place, right time with the Blink Dagger.
Man, you can really see how much they need a Shadow Demon on Newbee's team right now. Like,
yeah.
It's like just the easy setup with Arrow or whatever they use and the Reaper side. If they could just keep KP alive at the start of these fights, the whole thing would be different. That's why he's going for Aether or for Aeon Disc, but it just takes so long to get there.
So KP, between those 2 Reaper deaths, is going to have spent like 3 of the last 4 minutes dead.
It's tough.
He was dead for like 70, respawned, died about a minute later.
He's had such a good game too, but his stats don't look great. 2, 5, and 7. I mean, I guess they've got Nightmare. That is a 1-second disruption, arguably. We saw it in that last fight, but yeah, Glimmer Cape from Bane could really help. Just having more raw HP could really help. That's having his vid booster certainly makes a bit of a difference there. But
both teams smoked up around the Roshan pit. Newbee think they're roshing and want to contest it, but they're wrong about it. It's Ori who will break the smoke and blink away, and the rest of Vici, they were smoked up. They're going to get the arrow on the Bane, bring him down first. Terrorize going to be pump faked here, trying to catch out a couple of heroes, but unsuccessful except 11, who is still so brought down by the BKB as Triple C. Bloodseeker does die despite his BKB, and Clinks is kind of salvaging this fight, actually gets himself a double kill as Triple C, despite fighting against the odds. It was a 3v5 fight, has done all right.
That was a big save by Fenrir there, absolutely changing the fight. The Bloodseeker pops BKB, runs in at a great moment, and did a lot of damage to PL, but the disruption bought him a couple times, wasted 2 more seconds of the BKB duration, and end up with Bloodseeker dying first, not getting the heal, completely changing the fight outcome there. But either way, a great initiation for Vici. They basically caught Newbee unawares from the backside.
Yeah, and they instantly killed the Bane. Despite that, I mean, you can see how impactful these BKBs can be. Because even though Bloodseeker dies SCCC, he's being ignored. He very easily and quickly kills a couple heroes. And Vici Gaming do have to respect the strength of this BKB timing on the Newbee side. If Newbee managed to get a fight with 5 heroes, I don't see much hope for Vici Gaming to take a 5v5 engagement.
I feel like we've been seeing a lot of jungling in the last couple of days. Like a lot of like small downtime, go hit these triple camps. Like these are being heavily abused by a lot of teams. Feels like. There's
the air on this. KP disassembles his arcane boots so we can get it that a little bit quicker, and this will make his life a little bit easier.
Absolutely. So another way to protect himself. Mugi queuing up a butterfly, great option against a PL. He's got tons of armor already, so adding evasion on top of that will be a great solution. But you know, PL's nearing his "I'll have too much HP" area where he'll just stay alive for a long time. See if that makes a big difference. So it seems like initiation is obviously huge this game. And it feels like Newbee is just better at team fights, whereas Vici Gaming is just better at little pickoffs, perhaps.
Another Moonlight Shadow. Vici Gaming just keep wanting to look for these pickoffs that you're talking about. Using this Moonlight Shadow whenever it's available, constantly using smokes. There are sentry wards that they're about to run into, though, and I think they see Ori. He gets hit by the creeps here. The Yulsep is there. There is an Aeon Disc, though. Oh, no, sorry, that's not KP. That's Kaka instead. He should be dead, but the Nightmare trying to help him out. The Shadow Rumble followed up. He's going for the TP. KP also going at the Rolling Thunder, though, but he has no backup whatsoever. He needs to just get the hell out of there, and he goes bouncing over a cliff to scurry on home.
Yeah, seeing the power of the Shadow Demon ulti, removing the Yule Scepter, but Kaka getting the Shadow Realm off. They bought him enough time for him to defend himself and just TP out. Like that, the Shadow Realm TP has been so valuable this game. Again, it's just arrow. They don't have another way to interrupt that teleport, and Kaka just reading the team fight really well.
They seem to be worried about Roche. Yeah, they're actually smoking. They did a scan at the Roshan pit that went red, but there's not
get the subs too.
Vici Gaming in there.
Or at least the creep wave will.
Will they find Ori? He's got to blink if he's quick. There's also a BKB. Can they get the grip? No. Ori very fast react. He's had a good game despite a couple of deaths in the mid game. Disruption arrow not going to land on Clinks.
Oh man, they double warded and they're under 2 sentries. That feels really bad, dude.
Shadow Demon's like, I'll take these D-wards.
That's actually so much gold. It's like killing a pair of Necro 3s or something.
300 gold going the way of
Shadow Demon. Oh, he deserves it. It's a Shadow Demon.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Disruption, yep, he takes those.
I don't feel bad anymore. So, SCC queuing up a Scythe of Ice actually next. So a little interesting.
Okay.
It's going to limit his damage, but it's going to make it a lot easier to kill people. And that's definitely one of the things they're lacking as well on their side. They've got Rolling Thunder for stun. They've got Fiend's Grip, but past that, kind of hard to grab heroes like Necrophos without him getting his BKB off his Ghost Shroud and making his ultimate death a lot harder.
11 leading a smoke gank of Vici Gaming's own. Both teams have been very aggressive about using these smokes here in the last 5 minutes of this game. I feel like this is the 5th or so that we've seen between the two teams.
And they do kind of know where their opponents are playing, at least. They see the PL. I think they might have seen the Death Pulse as well, but by the time their opponents even maybe take this tower, it should be a dead roach.
They kind of catch Vici Gaming unawares a little bit. Don't imagine Vici Gaming would have happily let them take that for free, but at the same time, it's very hard to contest because of the Newbee teamfight advantage that we've been talking about, as well as these BKBs being very hard to deal with.
And most of the time as well, the other thing I'd point out is the Mirana ulti. It's just been so impactful in so many of the games so far at TI. But it's slightly offset by things like Clinks having invisibility and even like Dark Willow being difficult to kill. So even if they do want to engage on their opponents or find them before they end up taking Roche, it's not always easy to know exactly where they're going to be. So a little bit more passive farming again, and the game continues.
Yep. Do you think this favors either team if this, keeps on dragging out, goes 40, 50, 60 minutes into the real late game?
I mean, we always have to worry about PL solutions, and they're building some. So I guess I'm worried about that. Is there anything else you're thinking of?
I mean, I would look at the Bloodseeker and his itemization. He is going for this very carry-oriented build, which I think is a good sign.
Yeah,
you mentioned the butterfly, the Radiance BKB butterfly. There's none of these like Yule Scepters, other, I don't know, like Blood Right Rupture damage-based builds that you sometimes see. he's going all in on the right clicks.
Would you do something? You'd probably still get Mjolnir on, I'm guessing.
On Bloodseeker?
Yeah, because like Blood Rage plus Mjolnir is really valuable, obviously. Just amplifying all the damage, or maybe...
I wouldn't mind like an AC.
Okay, just like get super, super physically tanky.
Yeah.
I guess.
AC,
okay.
Possibly a Skadi or Basher type build. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's a lot of different, I guess, approaches because it's not just PL you have to worry about. Necro is also a very scary late game. Lincolns could be very effective against him.
Yeah.
Since he has no way to break the Lincolns.
Yeah, that was definitely one thing I was worried about. Once his BKB runs out, okay, he's gonna be really good against PL, but then he's just gonna get shredded by like Necro Soul Catcher. Yeah. He'll die almost instantly. So it'll make team fights kind of hard. Maybe it would be like an OG situation yesterday where find the right carry and you just kind of lose the game instantly.
They have one Lincoln's coming on KP's Pingo, which I like.
That's a great choice, yeah.
Definitely and he's not a carry, so he doesn't feel like, oh, this is a lot of money to spend on an item that's not going to give me, damage or something more impactful.
And he's already got his core items too. He's got Blink, he's got Maelstrom, and then now he's building supplementary items to make sure that he actually gets his ult off.
Yep. He knows, yeah. The main thing for him is get your ulti off. It doesn't matter about doing damage itself. That's what the other heroes like SCCC are there for, and that's exactly what him and Kaka are going to do in the mid lane. Now the Rolling Thunder comes in. They catch two. He leaps or blinks into it. 11 just TP'd right in. Immediately melts. What was he thinking?
Well, they'll get a tower out of it at least, but Kaka might be able to get the follow-up. He's got Doppelganger. He can remove that. He's got a Manta in 2 seconds as well. Here comes the teleport. Doesn't quite catch him. Never mind. The Yule's going to interrupt it. Do they have Fiend Script? They don't. They've got a Nightmare, though. It's getting scary, though. They need some AoE wave clear. Paparazzi might get killed.
With the PL, yeah. Paparazzi is just going to hold his ground and fight. He's going on SCCC. He's like, that's a PL. My hero doesn't touch PL. Paparazzi, he finds him with the real one. He's not being dealt with. They followed his illusion. He's gone after SCCC. He's going to get this kill. Paparazzi, 1 versus 5. You magician. He gets a kill before he dies. Almost gets a couple kills.
And that's what they got to worry about on Newbee's side. I do not blame them for the TPs. They interrupted his escape, but man, he just is very hard to deal with. And is that pre-heart? No, he's got heart now. So, but killing his opponent first, he got 600 gold out of that 1v4.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned if this does go to the ultra late, it's how, is there an answer to the PL? And I think that right there shows there is. Even this is with Radiance and Maelstrom, there is not a great answer to PL.
Yes, there is not. I mean, Mjolnir goes a long way because then you're bouncing 9 times instead of 4, I believe is what the difference is.
Okay, and you have the active component too.
Yes, exactly. If you throw that on whichever guy's getting gone on and he starts getting hit by a ton of little illusions, you're going to proc a lot of AoE blasts. So that would be a solution, but that was a tough one. They also didn't have Rolling Thunder. If they have like the Rolling Thunder active disable that he can just roll back and through the illusions, it would work a lot.
Being purged up, and there's also a 5-second arrow to follow it up, but he's got Aegis, so they don't actually want to go on him. They're going to go on Kaka instead, who gets instantly hexed. And
great Nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah, that actually saves his life. There was a Shackle, and it got immediately cancelled, but the Reaper going to find the Bloodseeker Aegis here. That means Necro's in a bit of a tough pickle here. He's got BKB as well as an Axe if he can buy some time, but the cooldown is way too long for him, and he and Mirana both get picked off. Newbee chase down Vici Gaming, killing 3, looking for a 4th. Paparazzi.
I don't know about this one, guys.
SCCC is not going to get the kill on Lan M here. Paparazzi's just going to turn and try fight. Mookie, though, has the Mjolnir static charge.
That's from KP. Somebody's ready to carry.
KP finished one, yeah. I bet say I saw one queued up on Clinks after the Hex, but...
Yeah. This is a great choice. I mean, it was either Lincoln's, right, on Pengo, and I think it's a good choice to make it, but spending that 3k gold to instantly finish the Mjolnir is certainly more worth it considering what the problems are right now.
Yeah, multiple Mjolnirs and the Radiance might just start adding up. And you kind of asked, like, does Bloodseeker... You mentioned getting the Mjolnir. He's got it queued up. They're going to go for triple Mjolnir.
It's basically either that or you get a Battle Fury, but by the late Battle Fury kind of feels bad. It's not bad. Like, it's actually really good. Late Battle Furies on somebody that has this much attack speed. He's got lifesteal. I think that could be better, actually. But Mjolnir isn't terrible either. In the short term, it'll probably be better, maybe.
See how things go from here. Newbee have pulled ahead about a 6,000 gold lead to Gaming. Have just not really looked that good in terms of their... It's like, yeah, they've got a weaker teamfight line, but they're also choosing bad team fights. 11 has like gone into some very questionable positions. That TP in there, a couple of fights where he's being picked off and leapt into enemy spells.
It is a hard game, though. It seems like Rupture is one of the good solutions. Yeah, I think Faith has been playing amazing. His Nightmare timings have absolutely turned some of these fights. Like, Newbee's just outplaying basically, KP had some weak rolls kind of at the beginning of that last fight, but the fact that they bursted on the Necro in time made it all worth it.
Yep.
They're just playing well. And Ori's, like the problem with Necro as a core is like you can't solo carry this. It's not a hero that can just like blow people up. You need a little bit of cover. You need to combo. You need your allies to set up kills for you. But it's been hard for them to find these engagements because Newbee's kind of just been passive and sitting back a lot.
We'll see if things change here as Newbee going to smoke up as 5. Similar kind of approach Newbee are known for, this group team play. And they're going to smoke at the Mirana, who's TPing on out. 11 with a heads-up call there, knowing what was perhaps coming his way. But even with smoking up, it doesn't really feel like Newbee are going aggressive with their play. They take a very defensive route to the bottom lane through the enemy jungle where they know it's pretty safe because they've got a deep ward. They're not really taking a big risk here with this move. Yeah,
that's true, I guess. And even the last fight, it was a defensive reaction. They covered their ally that got arrowed, so it seems like they're just kind of reacting to fights. But there's another Maelstrom coming. This one's going to be for Mugi.
Vici Gaming on the other side of the river here, actually on Newbee's side.
They're going to know, though. They saw the courier for sure. So
courier flies over. They could try and snipe it over the creep wave. Does Ori actually want it? He's going to have to reveal his position. He's going to go for it. Right click. Okay, doesn't one-shot it. Doesn't have the damage.
Rangers do a lot less damage to couriers. I think it's like melees have like a 50% damage bonus or something against them.
Okay.
That's how it works. So
there you go.
You have to be a really high damage range hero.
Vici Gaming now are going to have the Mirana Moonlight Shadow wear off, and they maintain their position around that high ground cliff, playing around their sentries and observers, but similar kind of thing. Newbee, just play it safe. Don't take any chances running forward blind. And Vici Gaming will just continue to pulse around here, hoping for Roshan. It's just about to hit that minimum Roshan respawn, and we are looking at a 2-minute 45-second respawn beyond that.
Okay.
So very late Roshan coming for this game. But the teams don't know that, so they're going to still be playing around Roshan even if it's not respawning anytime soon.
And they should on Vici Gaming side. Their wards are really good for it right now. Wards are on the tier 2 mid, or on the high ground. They've got a lot of sentries playing around the mid lanes, so they should be able to cover that.
At some point, Newbee's going to feel like they have to go to Roche, even though it's not there, because they don't have a good way of scouting it right now.
Yeah, I actually like the ping that they just made on Vici Gaming side. They can kill shrines. They got that tier 3 tower top when Paparazzi 1v4'd their team. So with that tower dead, kill the shrines, control some more map control. Whereas on Newbee side, they can't really pressure towers because they can't really take down the mid tier 2. They're not going to go top tier 2s surely because they're not going to play on that side of the map. They spawn land.
Yes. No, they did not. No. He spots down. He actually going to drop the Serpent from the low ground to high. Instant Reaper going to take the Dark Willow out for 2 minutes, so he's going to immediately buy back. Clinks is going for Lan M with the silence there. The right clicks, they've got the detection, so they will get the kill here, but that's the Rolling Thunder down. Bane dies on the back line. Shaman and Bane both going to buy back. Teams both recognizing this is the key fight for them. They don't know that Roshan is actually still quite a ways away, or they may not be buying back here, but it could respawn is the big thing here. So if you win this fight, and like convincingly, you're thinking we get Roche. But
they did lose a gem though, right? Let me just open this obnoxious screen. There's one on Pangolier still, so they should be able to get D-wards perhaps.
That's their Fate's gem, so his teammates.
The Vici Gaming the initiation was really helpful. I definitely noticed the cast range difference in that engagement.
Yes.
It's like he was actually hidden the whole time. They had no idea where he was, and the wards and the hexes come down. It's really useful.
That's how you play around your vision. His Observer Ward on that high ground allowed him to get a Serpent Ward drop from nowhere, a Hex with it, and Shackle the other. Very clean play coming out from Lanham. Banner Runes will spawn. It looks like it'll be 2 apiece. Vici Gaming maintain their control over this Roshan pit for now, at least, while Newbee take the ones down bottom.
Yep. Peels finishes Monkey King bar, so the Butterfly and the Bloodseeker is not going to be nearly as good as it used to be, but...
Watch out, SCCC has a double damage rune. You can see Ori run right into him. Has a Hex as well. Doesn't want to go on a Necro. He knows there's maybe a Shadow Demon behind and would have been correct. And there's going to be a Blood Right for Vision that misses. One more right click. It also misses. Oh my gosh. Can they catch a break or not? He'll finish him off with the Swashbuckle and the grip on Ori. The Terrorize to make sure he doesn't use any spells. They get 2 kills out of it. Great play from Newbee. They got a bit unlucky going for the Shadow Demon kill, but they were rewarded with a Necro one as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was close. Ori was probably a fraction of a second away from blinking in that moment, but he does get caught. And one of the best things about Bane usually is that...
Arrow on KP. Trying to force out the Aeon Disc. They'll be successful. The Yule Scepter, oh, he barely dodges the Blood Right. Almost landed in it. Clink's coming in. Yeah, the Bloodseeker, oh, doesn't quite die there. He's still alive on the AP. Still ends up dying, not to the Reaper at least, as SCCC is holding his ground, trying to fight, trying to take down Paparazzi. The arrow will be blocked by the BKB. Paparazzi still fairly low, but he's starting to heal up by the heart. They haven't managed to break that one, and they're going to chase down the Willow. If he dies, he's dead for like 2 minutes, and that is a long, long respawn for him. 100 seconds on the sidelines, and that's with Roche up. That's where that Necro buyback pays for itself, because now you can dump an Aegis on Ori, and he's going to feel a whole lot better about himself. I
mean, at least they dodged the Reaper's Scythe on the Bloodseeker using Nightmare, but I mean, this is going to have to be a 4v5, and they are clearly having some big
may go for it. Fenrir actually just TP'd into a Clinks here. He needs to be careful. He may just get caught up by the Hex. SCCC should have a freebie out of this one. No save available. Okay. Clinks nearby, though. Have they got detection? He's got a Dust. He's going to catch SCCC. Gets him with a Hex up top. Shackle to follow. Is there an arrow? Ori's got a Reaper here.
This is going to last a long time. They got the Shackle
Dust is wearing off. Reaper. It's going to be not enough damage, and SCCC will survive. No additional detection.
That was so big, actually. The fact they didn't get him.
Was his veil on cooldown?
It might have been in his backpack. When he was dead before, I noticed it was his backpack. He might not have noticed.
It wouldn't have been enough damage on its own, I believe, to kill him. But
he had that Hex cooldown, though. Yep. That would have been Hex into Shackle. Wait, are they going to contest it now? They just went into... Oh, no, KP blinked wrong. Oh, that was such a big loss here. He could have gotten into the Roche pit for sure.
Yeah, we've seen so many... Oh, wow, Roche actually died to the Dire. KP gets in now. There's a long duration on Paparazzi. KP will take this with life. I have no idea what just happened. Swash.
Maybe like Blood Right or something?
Blood Right? Yeah, I did not see that one.
Had to be like Blood Right, because there's... anyone else that has like some kind of a ranged kill ability, it must have been him.
Okay.
All right, so they get a little gold out of it, but ultimately the prizes that Roche drops is far more important. There's a cheese on the PL to keep him alive. They're just having PL options. This is like one of those situations I genuinely think that Mugi should have gone for a Battle Fury. Like, Battle Fury scales so much better against a PL than Maelstrom does, and Mjolnir even. Even with the damage buffs, it just seems like they're having trouble. Like, they've got lots of Mjolnirs, but it only does so much damage. Clink's getting ready to skill up his last talent as well. Curious which one he'll pick, but it goes multi-shot. Yeah. Probably the right move considering against the Clinks, and even with the Mjolnir, it's actually really smart to have.
Proc on either shot, so
I think it's a good choice this game.
Right. And they've got some dispels for the Strafe as well. So we've seen them be pretty good about using things like the Yule Scepter against it.
That's a great point. Or even the Shadow Demon ulti.
Yep.
All right, hitting the high ground. Thinking about a Terrorize.
Nightmaring the PL constantly.
Oh, he's Ruptured too, and now scaring him.
Can he get this cheese off with the Disruption? He should be okay to do so. 11 looks for the arrow, hits the Dark Will in the backlines here. The Serpent's chewing away at this Rax here. Paparazzi's still getting low. He has got the cheese. He's trying to bait them in. It looks like Paparazzi should be just fine. The Reaper comes out, deletes the Bane. Ori, though, loses his Aegis here. Can't afford to die again. He just pulled back, and it looks like he should be A-okay here. The melee rack's very, very low. 11. He's the one sent in to finish it off, and doesn't quite do so. The lone Serpent Ward. One more right click. Somebody. Paparazzi's like, I've got this, guys. X got a Hex out as well, and that could be the death of the Clinks here.
Tries to put the Linkets on in time, but the Hex comes just a bit earlier. So it's a 4v5 here in Vici Gaming. Looking like they have a good hold of this game, but it's not over yet. Buyback from Clinks comes. He needs to get his ultimate off, get some bonus damage, HP. Man, they can't even touch the PL right now.
This is one of the big weaknesses of Clinks. Situation like this, you buy back or you respawn, you don't have a good death pack target. You'd love to find that big tanky neutral, but it doesn't exist. There's no creep save, but can they actually get the kill? There's a Disruption, comes just in time before he gets stunned up by KP's Rolling Thunder. They're still going to get the kill here. Great play from Newbee. Their teamfight prowess really shining as they get the second and third. Leaping in is the Moran of 11, a suicide mission if anything. He's gone into 4 heroes with a leap. He should have just bailed, but he'll go down, guns blazing, and give Newbee 4 kills in a very big hold. They do lose the top lane, but holding the mid lane.
That kind of felt like it was almost the end of the game there for Newbee if they didn't execute that right. But the Rupture combos are actually so strong for them. Rupture into Terrorize, make them run away and take bonus Rupture damage. All those things are very effective. But yeah, hitting the back line was the way to go there.
See it again here briefly. The backline Rolling Thunder from KP caught 3 heroes Even though the disruption came out in the PL, he was still in such a bad position that there was just nothing the rest of the team could do to save him. And it's now Vici Gaming who are going to be forced to buy back to defend.
And watching that clip again, it's so remarkable how much the teamfight changes as soon as the PL's dead. Like, once PL's dead, Newbee knows they can do whatever the heck they want.
That's the only hero they're scared of. This Necro's just not had quite the impact you'd hope, considering his good early game start. Melee Rack's just getting shredded by the strafe, the clinks, and Newbee seem content to back off, reset, and look for another team fight.
Probably a Shrine kill maybe on the way out, but I mean, maybe if Necro has like a Radiance or something, he'd feel scarier, because then he could do more standing in the enemy team lineup. But I kind of get his point that his build is, and his team's setup is a lot around like getting that one burst kill. I think the one hero that's underperforming is probably Old 11's Mirana. Like the Yule Scepter, they've gotten some Yule's arrow setups, but they haven't always turned them into kills, and he just hasn't had the carry potential that they've maybe been hoping for.
Yep.
So it's like getting these kills has been difficult.
No, I definitely agree. It feels like we haven't seen the kind of output you'd hope from. It's the kind of core hero in the offlane that you're picking to scale. It's not like some offlanes you pick and you're like, oh, he's just being a team player. He's getting the Pipe, the Greaves, the Crimson, and all that. But this is a hero that's getting these single target damage dealing items, Mjolnir, and the carry items, and hasn't been able to find an impact on these fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
But things not over just yet. Still plenty of Dota to be played. Both teams down one lane of racks, only a half lane on Vici Gaming side, but it was the melee rack, so essentially damage has been done mid by Newbee.
And Klink's opting for late Linken's here. I don't think it's a bad idea. He was thinking about getting an Orchid, but they do have a lot of BKBs on the enemy team, even finding the PL is hard. And Hex has felt like very impactful in all these team fights. The Hex range is massive.
Yep.
He just sits around and gets ready to prep and initiate, and a couple times that's why Klink said last fight as well, before he had to buy back. So Linken's maybe the way to turn things around.
Linken's always feel stronger and more annoying when you have more than one on a team. When there's one, it's like you know who it's on, you know you're going to break it, but once there's two or three, fights can get very chaotic.
Absolutely.
Because you put a Linken's on a hero right after it breaks or something, and suddenly you are blocking a big spell when previously you knew exactly how to...
Mirana may be in trouble here. Well, they're going to run, though. Yeah, he's kind of doing a forward
leaping
scout.
forward, looking for a Yule Scepter, finds it on the Clinks. Is there an arrow to follow up? He times this one perfectly. SCCC could be the one in some trouble, but instead they're going to go for the Dark Willow first instead. The Aeon Disc not saving his life. Immediate buyback coming out. KP rolling his way on through, trying to get a few heroes here, but the BKB from Ori stopping that Rolling Thunder from stunning him up. It's Mugi on the Bloodseeker, who almost dies to the PL, but he gets saved by the Nightmare. How's Mugi still alive? Once again, Faith has saved his life, only for a little bit longer, though. Fenrir did still finish him off. I believe some poison damage. He comes in from behind, and now he's found more. It's Fenrir on the Shadow Demon, the hero support. He's got himself a double kill somehow, and the Dark Willow who just bought back Kaka. He hasn't got an escape. He uses himself, but he needs another Shadow Realm, and he just doesn't have one. Dead for 100 seconds are two Newbee heroes, and they're without buyback. Straight for the throne go Vici Gaming. They sense victory, and Newbee have to find something here.
And the way they attacked that team fight was so strong. They just swung in.
Top.
He's going to get his ultimate off, at least buys him a second. He can...
Aeon Disc helps him out. They GG. The throne's being focused. They've got no way to defend it. They have GG. KP's like, wait, what? Why are we GGing? I can defend. But no, it's over. Newbee, they know it.
Wow. Very back and forth team fight. And Vici Gaming finally getting their first victory of the tournament. So that's got to be great. Sitting 1-4 now. They can start turning things around. They're not a bad team. They're just losing a lot of matches, but finally pulling out a solid win. And it definitely just felt like a PL problem. Like there was almost everything was controlled by Newbee that game, but they just couldn't deal with the PL.
Crazy thing is that game actually ends. Newbee have a gold lead. Very slight, less than 1K, but they lost with a gold lead. It really highlights that this game was back and forth. Every single team fight was just so close, so hard to determine who's going to win, and these buybacks being used means you lose that one big team fight at the end. Without buybacks, boom, game over.
And Roche as well. They got a cheese, they kept getting Aegises, and that really made the big difference in some of those last fights. So yeah, Vici Gaming takes the win, and we'll be back in a bit with the next game, guys. Thanks for watching.